For a long time, the Toyota Corolla was something of an enigma. It might have been the world's best-selling car, but throughout the 80s and early 90s, the models were really rather forgettable. The post-1997 Corolla started to put some substance behind the sales, and with the 2001 model year car, Toyota finally had a car they could really be proud of. With excellent build quality and a range of top-notch engines, this Corolla really put up a worthy challenge to class leaders like the Honda Civic and the Ford Focus. With 3 and 5 door hatches, a compact estate and Verso mini-MPV models on offer, choice really wasn't a problem for Corolla buyers. Used car customers benefited from Toyota's peerless reliability and a market that really hadn't realised what a great car this Toyota is. It's long been a Toyota tactic to carpet bomb the family hatchback market with Corolla variants, and this Mark X model was no exception, with everything from 3 and 5 door hatches up to a mini-MPV, everything you can think of in fact bar an open-top roadster. The difference with this design was that there was genuine quality and desirability, which was necessary to make the car appeal to not only private buyers, but the increasingly demanding user-chooser corporates. A new system of model designations was introduced when this car was first launched in late 2001. Out went the old designations, which went S, GS, SR and GLS, and in came a new ladder that went T2, T3, there was Plush, T-Spirit and Dynamic T-Sport. 4 petrol engines were offered, starting with this 96 brake horsepower 1.4 litre VVTi unit. Above that sat the popular 110 brake horsepower 1.6 litre version of the same engine. There were also a couple of 1.8s, either the conventional 133 brake horsepower engine or the manic 189 brake horsepower unit used in the Dynamic T-Sport. A pair of D4D diesel engines were offered, developing either 90 or 110 brake horsepower. Now the Verso MPVs hit the showrooms first, quickly followed by the 3 and 5 door hatches, with the saloon and the compact estate following shortly after. Summer 2004 saw the main first revisions introduced across the Corolla range, with this new body-coloured grille. Under the bonnet there was a new 1.4 litre diesel engine developing 89 brake horsepower, replacing the previous 2 litre D4D that had the same output. Inside there were styling revisions that freshened up the interior, while outside you had these teardrop shaped headlights. Corollas have always forged a reputation for monotonous reliability. Broken timing chains, electrical fires, forget it. Nothing interrupts this car's clockwork tedium, and with this design, nothing's changed. As long as the service records have been properly adhered to, it's difficult to imagine a more trouble-free car in its class. And that's a real testament not only to the car, but the workers at the Derbyshire factory where it was built. Body stiffness is massively superior to this car's predecessor. Although it doesn't have the aggressive handling of a Ford Focus of this era, it nevertheless cozies up to cars like the Volkswagen Golf and the Fiat Stilo in the go, stop, steer handling department. Slightly disappointingly, for a clean sheet design, all the engines for this car were carried over from the previous model. Engine-wise, well, a 97 horsepower 1.4 litre unit opens negotiations, followed by 110 brake horsepower 1.6 and 135 brake horsepower 1.8. But for performance enthusiasts, for the first time, well, they had a Corolla with this generation that they could be proud of. With this car, the 189 brake horsepower 1.8 litre T-Sport, which was improved upon still further towards the end of this car's life with a 215 horsepower compressor version. Those looking for a decent diesel were well served by a couple of versions of Toyota's 2 litre D4D common rail unit, developing either 90 or a perky 110 brake horsepower. Later in the model's life, a 1.4 litre diesel came in to replace the 90 brake horsepower unit, developing just 1 brake horsepower less, 89, and the top version was up to 120 brake horsepower. The T-Sport version I'm driving here is a good option if you don't get along with a Honda Civic Type R or can't quite stretch to a Ford RS Focus. And the availability of a 5-door body style means that it can double as viable family transport as well. The 1.8 litre power plant is smaller than the 2 litre unit fitted to the Civic, and despite its flatter feel, it generates a higher specific output, reaching the 100 bhp per litre mark. That's such a benchmark for quality sports, normally aspirated power plants. This Toyota Corolla is a car of which owners can be proud, if not especially excited by. The best buy of the lot, well, definitely the more powerful diesel, and maybe also the unsung Verso models, hugely improved for the 2004 model year with the introduction of a 7-seat version. Whichever model you choose, expect matchless reliability and common sense design. Excitement may be in short supply, but the Corolla certainly makes up for this slight lack of charisma in other areas. It's a car that rewards you over time, a car that constantly impresses you with little touches that betray a manic depth of engineering. If you know cars, then you'll appreciate what an excellent used buy this Corolla represents.